Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're doing a Q&A. I have a lot of topics to cover. I reached out on my community tab at the start of July and also on my Instagram, and I got a lot of questions, and basically I've just like broken them down on my notes section into different categories. So I have fashion, I have travel home, I have love, I have career, and then I have like a others section. So we have a lot of questions to get through. We're gonna get started with fashion. The first question, how much are you willing to spend for your next Birkin Max? Do you see yourself wanting a Kelly? What specs for your Hermes bag? And ideally, I probably wouldn't want to spend any more than 25,000 for an Hermes bag. Do you see yourself wanting a Kelly? I'm kind of like a bit take it or leave it at the moment. I would like a Kelly, but I'm not really actively searching for a Kelly. I don't even really know what specific bag I would want. Like, I haven't really thought enough about it. I don't think enough about it to really have any idea. I think a mini Kelly would probably be something I would like, but they're so expensive and they're so hard to get your hands on at the moment. Like, I think in the Australian market, 30 to 35. I've even seen some for 40 grand. So I'm just not willing to put that much money behind a bag. And what specs for your Hermes bag? I'd probably say if I'm going for a Birkin, Togo leather, but that's all I've really ever known. I probably will go into detail in one of my next videos more on that and just how I feel about Hermes and just how I feel about luxury in general at the moment. Next question, have you ever gone into a boutique and been in the middle of purchasing something and got cold feet and had to say you didn't want it anymore? No, I don't think I have. No, I don't think I have. Specifically in a designer store, I haven't done that, but I am someone who gets cold feet and I'm very indecisive. You know, if you change your mind and if you get cold feet, there's a reason that you feel that way. So I wouldn't ignore that and I wouldn't feel ashamed of that. What was your first ever luxury purchase? It was a Louis Vuitton bag. Oh, that's more of the question. And was it bought from a boutique or pre-loved vintage? Love your channel, Caitlin. Thank you so much. It was bought from Beverly Hills Rodeo Drive. It was a Louis Vuitton Tivoli. I think it was in the PM size. I'm gonna have a video linked where I share that whole kind of story time and share with you in more detail the bag. Do you have a maximum limit for any luxury item? When do you know if a luxury item is too expensive and no longer worth the money? So this is an interesting question. I don't actually think, like, I like to tell myself I have a maximum limit for a luxury item, but I think as well, for me, what it comes down to is when do I know if a luxury item is too expensive and I no longer want it? It's just a feeling I have. Like, to me, I can look at a bag for like $2,000 and be like, oh, that's way too expensive. But then I can look at a bag for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Still think it's expensive, but to me, it's worth more than the $2,000 bag. So I think for me anyway, it depends on what the bag is, like the structure, the different specs and the elements of the bag, and just how it makes me feel, the color, the experience. A lot of all that really plays in for me. So I don't like to say that I have a limit. It just depends on the item. Like, for instance, I mentioned Hermes, like I'd probably 25 grand would probably be my cap, but I want a Kelly. So that's, you know, probably gonna be 30 grand. I might find one that's like 27 grand. I might just like, oh, bite it and just spend that little bit more. So I think for me, it's a case by case basis. Do you think your collection will ever be complete? Honestly, I know in my heart of hearts that my collection is complete now. I don't know, it's weird. I have a weird way of thinking about it lately. I look at this two ways, like yes and no. Like, yes, I think my collection's complete, like as it is. Like, I don't need any more bags. I don't need any more things really. But at the same time, no, because like I'm probably gonna keep buying handbags. I'm probably going to keep buying fashion pieces. And obviously if my financial situation ever changes, that will change. But what are some of your favorite luxury items, beauty, fashion, accessories that you always buy over lower price items? PS, love your channel. Thank you so much. I'm gonna replace the word luxury with more expensive and well made. I suppose, I don't know if you'd really consider vitamins luxury, but I will always buy my supplements and my vitamins from my naturopath. I'll probably never buy drugstore skincare, and again, that's no shame or shade to anyone who buys drugstore skincare. I do tend to, in my life, buy and gravitate towards the, I suppose, the more luxurious option, you could say. What purchase are you more likely to save up for? Do you save up for travel? You pretty much answered my question for me. Travel is pretty much the only thing, not the only, yeah. Probably travel is not only the thing that I prioritize most in terms of my money, especially at the moment, but also it's the thing that I consider the most as well. Like luxury pieces here and there, like I don't sit and stew on them for weeks and months for the most part. If I like something, I'll buy it. But travel, not only I think because the flights are so expensive and, you know, I'm in Australia, and if you're Australian, you can relate to this. We're over here kind of like all by ourselves. How do you deal with luxury judgment? Ooh, this is a really, really good one. The same way I deal with all judgment in my life. I don't know if I've just gotten so good at dealing with it and ignoring it and like not being as fazed about it. But I just don't really care that much anymore. I suppose about the luxury stuff, but there is judgment. Like it's different depending on what the judgment is. Like for instance, I don't really care too much about luxury judgment anymore. I think it's because anyone who ever, I suppose, judged me or gave me or, you know, projected their judgment on me, either I removed that friendship or that relationship from my life, or they left because they felt like they couldn't relate to me. And I suppose, I don't know, whether it be jealousy or that judgment, I guess removal is how I deal with it. But I know that's not like the ideal situation, and there are people, like even just, you know, there is judgment sometimes that I wonder, hey, hold on, is this judgment or is this my triggers and my kind of like soft spots, you know? Slowing down my thoughts, therapy's helped, removing certain people from my life. But don't get me wrong, like I'm not the master at all of managing judgment. Like right now, the fact that I'm sitting down doing this Q&A, I'm absolutely terrified of judgment. I'm terrified of judgment. It's part of the reason, other than the fact that I'm very private, it's the fact that it's the reason why I've never done a Q&A. You just get tired of it, you know? Like I don't know about you, but maybe you can relate to this. Like judgment from people really used to bother me. It still bothers me a little bit, but I feel like it's like you get to a point where you deal with a certain amount of judgment and you just kind of get tired of giving an F. I think it also helps to surround yourself with people that, I think it's like a 90s song, isn't it? She likes me for me, not because I like find, like I think the more I found people that actually like me for me, there are people in my life that love me and appreciate me and enjoy my company and don't care about what I choose to do with my life or judge me for how I choose to live my life or how I choose to spend my money. And that's what I try to focus on now. So I hope that helps. Okay, Dior saddle or Montaigne? That is a really good question. My Dior saddle, I probably wear more. My Dior Montaigne, I probably wear more in the autumn winter because of the coloring. So again, they're two different bags. If you were to take one away from me, I feel like it'd probably have to be the Montaigne. I just think because I have so many bags like that, you know, I have so many rectangular crossbody style bags. The Dior saddle, it's kind of like a bag that I don't have anything else like. So what is your favorite clothing brand? Again, I don't really think I have like a favorite clothing brand. If you look at my wardrobe, you'd probably think it was Victorian Woods because I have so much Victorian Woods. Absolutely love your style. Thoughts on the Chanel Trendy CC? Thank you so much. Thoughts on the Chanel Trendy CC? I think it's a very elegant, structured, timeless looking bag. I don't necessarily love or hate it. I have kind of like a feeling of indifference about it. What's your advice on starting a handbag collection? Again, I don't really think I'm a good person to ask this question. I just would say just start, you know, like you don't know. This might be a fun hobby for you. This might not be. You might enjoy it, you might not. You might get 3 bags in and be like, yep, I'm done. Or you might keep going. I just think I'm naturally someone who literally I'm my own worst enemy in that sense, and I will overthink every situation. So what's your best advice on starting a handbag collection? I say just start, you know, just start. Just buy one, pick one that you want to save up for, pick one that you want to, that you like the look of, that you think about, that you think would go with a lot of your outfits, a lot of your clothes, that you think would last in your collection for a while, that fits within your price range, and just go for it. So the next category we have is travel/home. Would you ever leave Adelaide? That is an amazing question and something that I just had this realization I wish I could just be someone that goes yes or no. Would you ever leave Adelaide? For the longest time, I wanted to leave Adelaide and I really hated it here. And it's funny, I kind of had this realization not long ago where I was like, there's not really ever been anywhere that I've fallen in love with enough to want to move. It's kind of one of those things where I'm gonna have to visit a place and then decide. It would need to be somewhere that I fall in love with, and I just haven't found anywhere that I've fallen in love with. So I would never completely be against the idea though. Have you always lived in Australia or have you ever been an expat? I've always lived in Australia. I was born here. I've never been an expat. I've traveled a bit though. What is your dream vacation? Ooh, I have so many. I really want to see the Northern Lights. I really would love to like visit the Maldives. I would really love to go to Alaska. I would really love to do like the North or the South Pole. Where else? Ooh, I want to see the south of France. I want to see more of Italy. There are so many places that I want to visit. Oh, I want to go to Borneo. I want to see orangutans. Yeah, those are like all kind of dream vacation ideas. When are you coming to Sacramento? Hopefully soon. I really would love to go back to the US. I'd really love to visit America again. Last time I was there was 2017. How are you doing and have you booked a trip to the UK yet? I am doing really well, thanks for asking. And have I booked a trip to the UK yet? No, not yet. It's a bit of an interesting situation. I'm like quite certain that I will be going to the UK sometime between now and the end of 2022. Do you feel connected with Poland at all? Do you and your family still carry on traditions? And also similar kind of question, European root, your last name is Polish if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Pawlowski is, I think, the Polish way of saying it. Do you feel connected with Poland at all? Honestly, no. I'd really love to visit Poland. I do have family there that I've never met. I would like to visit Poland. Just for the first time when I was in Melbourne, I went to a Polish restaurant. I'd never been to a Polish restaurant. And I tried all different kinds of foods that I'd never tried before. My Polish nana died when I was really, really young. Like, I don't really remember. I have like memories of her. The only memory I have is when being really, really little, going over a house and having this woman like squeeze my cheeks and like talk to me in a different language and like smother me with kisses. And when you're little, it's like, ah! And that's kind of the only memory I have, unfortunately, of my Polish nana. And after she died, my dad just didn't really have any need to speak Polish anymore, and it was just something that we never really carried on the traditions. I recall one memory of my parents trying to make pierogi. They spent all day trying to make pierogi and they were like yelling at each other in the kitchen. Okay, it was an all-day affair. Stress was high. So I did try to make pierogi once. It didn't taste that good. So now I just buy like the frozen pierogi. But yeah, other than the food element, I don't really have any traditions, which is a little bit unfortunate. What stops you from moving from Adelaide? That's a really great question. I think I just came to this realization that I always thought I wanted to leave Adelaide. I thought that I wanted to move cities. I hated it here. But I think what I realized what I hated is that I didn't really have anyone here that I guess I was hating it, and I think I hated it because I was quite lonely. I was quite lonely here. I think what I realized is like, this city actually does have a lot to offer. I love my family. My family's here. My boyfriend is here. My dog is here, who like is truly like the love of my life. And I love my house. I love the open space, the cost of living, the fresh air. Just love the small city life in that sense. I don't think I'm really much of a big city girl. I've never been someone who wants to move somewhere all by themselves. Getting my dog somewhere would be a whole nother issue that I wouldn't even know how to conquer. I wouldn't want to put him under a plane. So like, I've literally thought, like, if I ever move somewhere, there was a point where I was genuinely thinking about moving to Queensland. I was thinking I'd either have to drive him over, or I was like looking at how much it costs to get a private jet, because I'm never putting him under the plane. Okay, I'm trying to be a lot quicker because I've realized how long I've been rambling for. What do you do for a living? Probably my most asked question of all time. So other than my YouTube channel, I do have, and again, I am very private. And so is my family. So I do have like a portfolio of investments on the stock market and also property investments. But you've probably never heard me talk about that. I probably don't see myself really ever talking about that. I also work for my family business. And again, because it's not only me, but it's also my family. My family are very, very private people. I've had people ask me before, oh, like, can you film with your mom? Like, can we meet your family? Can we meet your like mom and dad? And they just are not people that are ever going to want to be online. And I just wanted to say this one thing actually, because I really appreciated this. It wasn't even a question. This woman said, not a question, but in my opinion, don't feel obligated to say anything about your personal life. I really, really appreciated that. So I do hope that you guys can respect that that kind of boundary that I have to put in place and that I want to put in place, because my family are very private. Okay, so now we're going to get into the love related section. I'm going to lump like these 3 questions together. So tell us about your boyfriend, give us hope. I love that one. How long have you and your boyfriend been together, and how did you meet, and can he film with you? So I've talked to him about the filming thing, and he's absolutely very much down for that. I've talked to him about it. The only thing that's really stopping me from putting him out there just yet is just my own stuff. Like going back to, you know, what we've spoken about in this video, I'm very private. I'm very, yeah, I do have my barriers and my walls, and I'm quite a private person. So I think I will eventually film with him because I know it'll be fun, and I'd like for you guys to meet him. But yeah, just give me a second, because it just dawned on me the other day that this is my longest relationship since I was 20. That's like 9 years ago. We had a bit of a rocky start, so I'm going to explain a little bit, which I think will be the element of behind like give us hope. How long have you and your boyfriend been together? I think we met last year. We met in Port Douglas in August or September. I think we met in September, and we didn't officially get together until January of this year. He is from Scotland. He's from Glasgow. I always go to say Glasgow, don't know why. Glasgow. He's from Glasgow. I'm gonna try to be really quick with this because I'm a rambler. And my advice to give you hope is to not take anyone's advice. And I know that sounds contradictory because I'm technically giving you advice, but my advice is to not take anyone's advice. To hear me out, it makes sense. I was someone who spent a lot of time speaking to people about it, friends, and again, friends who meant well and who wanted the best for me, and people in general who wanted the best for me. And I would find myself on Reddit threads, and you know, because basically we started out in a bit of a situationship. I wanted something serious. He didn't want something serious at the time, but I gave it a good few months, and I did that because against everyone's opinion, and even Reddit. Like if you hear people say, oh, like if he doesn't want anything serious, run, like, you know, get out of it, just leave, like, no, it's a waste of time. I gave it until December. Was it December or January? But basically I was like, look, I can't do this anymore, like I'm out kind of thing. And that was kind of what led us to be together. But I think the reason I hung in there for all those months was because I knew deep down that he had feelings for me, and I knew that the reason he was holding back wasn't because he was a boy or is a boy or because he intentionally was trying to hurt me. I think we kind of forget sometimes that everybody's on their own different journey, and you know what, there can be instances where people don't want something serious with you and they just want to F you around, but I could tell that there was something holding him back and he needed time, and I was willing to give him that time. But also I was very much aware. I think at one point, even when I was in Port Douglas, I went on a date with like a British cop. I wasn't completely cutting off my other options. Like I knew that I enjoyed this guy's company, and it's very rare for me to find someone that I actually like spending time with. And I really like spending time with him. But I was also aware that he didn't want anything serious. So if something else came along, I was gonna take it. I was gonna jump on that opportunity. But in the meantime, I was like, why should I, you know, kind of get rid of this thing? Like, why would I move this along when I'm actually enjoying his company? And truthfully, it takes a lot for me to enjoy someone's company. You know, I didn't date much. I haven't dated much in my 20s because it takes a lot for me to actually like someone. But I really like this guy. And I just thought, you know what? Let's just see how things go. Let's just try to have fun with it. Try to not become attached or get too many feelings involved. And if something better comes along, then we'll jump on it. And that's what led me to, in January, being like, nah, like I cannot enter a new year. I think it was just before Christmas, because I was like, nah, I cannot enter a new year in this same like limbo of this situationship. And that's kind of where I think, I hope this is hopeful for you, but just, you never know. Like, don't take any, like, I know it's like the cookie cutter of like, oh, if he doesn't want anything serious, like run. It's like, well, no, like, you can tell deep down. I think a woman's intuition is one of the most powerful things out there. And you know deep down if there's something holding him back, and that could be fear, that could be trust issues, that could be they've been hurt before. And I know none of those are excuses to F someone around or to hurt someone. But if you feel like someone is treating you right, is being open and honest with you. Like he told me from the get-go, hey, look, I don't want anything serious. But I could tell there was something there, and I could tell that he truly cared about me. From not only his actions, but the way he spoke to me and the way he treated me, and the fact that he wasn't dating or like hooking up with anyone else. So I think it's just one of those things that if you feel deep down that there's something there that you want to continue to pursue, obviously do it with boundaries set in place so that it's not to your detriment, you know, like, because you might very well lead to heartbreak, which is why you need to give yourself either keep your options open or give yourself a time limit and being like, you know what, nah, screw it. I hope that gives you some hope to just take your own advice. And by own advice, I mean like listen to yourself, listen to your own intuition and your own feelings and your own inner voice before you listen to anyone else's. I'm gonna try to wrap this up with the other section. This is just like a bunch of miscellaneous questions that I'm gonna try to rapid fire through because I've been here for a while. Okay, we've covered a bit. Rapid fire, okay. Last book you loved. Oh, Where the Crawdads Sing. Are you happy? How are you doing? How are you feeling nowadays? Thank you for asking. There are obviously some things that in life at the moment that I'm a little bit like bummed out about or stressed about or sad about, but overall I'm doing really well and I'm feeling really well. Oh, also curious about the Tony Robbins retreat you went to a few years ago. What did you really think about it? Did you get anything from it that continues to be beneficial? I'm going to talk about this in another video because I've had this idea like for maybe like a few years to do a video about this, and stay tuned, I'm going to talk about it. How is Flynn? If you were to get another Frenchie, what would you make sure check? What would you make sure of / check? Flynn's doing well. He's currently snoring. I'm going to get him and show you. I'm going to get him to come and say hello to you guys. He's currently at the moment actually got some like allergy issues. I would go through a breeder that put health above looks. I would make sure that you know and you have like a rough history. Get like the vet history for the bitch and the male, like the mum and the dad of the puppy that you're interested in. Get a background of that to see if any like genetic health issues are there. I'd also look for a breeder who puts like lengthening of the snout as a priority, whether that be they've mixed with another dog, whether that be get them from somewhere else. I would look for a breeder who appreciates the longer snout because it's cruel if they don't. How old is he? Flinny turned 3. He's also a Cancer and he just turned 3. So let me go get him. Flinny, you want to come say hello to your friends for Treatly Wheatleys? Come here, sexy kitten. You big sexy gorilla. Please. Oh yeah, there you go. You big sexy gorilla. Can you see him? Come here, mummy pick you up. Have you finished your Treatly Wheatley? Yes. Oh yes, I'm heavy, mummy. I'm 14.7 kilos of just pure love and muscle. You big sexy kitten. Love you, Flynn. It'd be nice if you could show your face around here a bit more often, honey, okay? It's a bit disrespectful. Not gonna lie, honey. And a lot of people have also asked me if I'd ever get 2. God, no. Okay, I am not alpha. It's very clear to me that I'm not alpha. I'm not pack leader enough to, like, if I got another one, they would just rule the house and they would plot to take over this whole house and rule the world. I just wouldn't be able to control 2 of them. Because Flinny doesn't even listen to me, do you, my love? I mean, you do sometimes, but for most of the part, you just do what you want. My big gorilla. My big gorilla in the mist. Have you considered vlogging your daily life or more of your shopping trips? I actually am considering vlogging more of my life. I'm even just considering for the rest of July or the rest of the year to just do a lot of my videos more vlog style and less kind of sit down structured videos, but it's just, I'm trying to have a little bit more fun with like my YouTube channel and just life in general. And I would like to film more of my shopping trips, but if I'm being honest with you guys, I don't actually do a lot of shopping trips. I do a lot of my shopping online, but I am definitely open to just more casual videos, like, you know, not so, just more like casual, relaxed, less sit down videos and more just like, you know, me talking to you guys about how I feel and what's going on and day-to-day life, and just, you know, putting, like, I want to talk to you about Hermes, I want to talk to you about how I feel about luxury at the moment, but I just want to do it more in casual ways where I'm just kind of like hanging out with you and it's not so lights, camera, action. Are you right there? Is that something you guys would be interested in? Excuse me, you're in my way. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Because I would really love to do that. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. What is your strongest character trait? Ooh, my strongest character trait I think would be, I mean, is this even a character trait? I don't know. I'm an overthinker. I'm very self-aware. I'm very analytical. I spend a lot of time in deep thought. If I could harness that, which I'm getting better at, I feel like the older I get, I'm better at channeling that into a positive space, but it's also can be my downfall and it can be to my detriment because I can completely be engulfed in a situation within my mind all day. Did you go to college and what was your major? Yes, I went to university twice. I didn't finish either of those degrees though. I did a marketing degree straight out of high school, a marketing communications degree that I didn't finish. And then I went back and tried to study journalism. I also went to school for makeup artistry. Sorry, I'm just trying to speak over my son. Are you right there? Darling, you're stealing the show. Okay, bye, love you. You. Makeup artistry, and I also went to school for fashion styling. I dabbled in going back to university at some point, but it would more just be for fun. I do really love learning. I do love study. It probably wouldn't be full-time. I love studying. I have masterclass subscription. That is amazing. Do you want kids one day? If so, how many? That is a really interesting question. I'm leaning more towards I don't think I do, but I don't know. I think that's the thing, you know, like so many people in my 20s ask, oh, do you want kids? I never even had a partner, you know what I mean? But then to be fair, I think there's some people that have wanted kids like from, you know, a very, very early age, regardless of whether or not they're with someone. But I've never dreamed of having children because I've never really had anyone, and I don't know. But it could just be because I don't want them. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know how you guys feel about this. Like, are you childless? Do you have children? Have you always wanted children? Share with me all your thoughts on this because I do find it very fascinating. I do find it very interesting. Do you plan on having more piercings? No. Again, we'll talk about this in another video. I currently have taken out 3. This could be a whole video on itself, and it will be. And last question, ending on a high. Did you find a natural deodorant that works? No. No, I did not. Out of all the suggestions, no. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I really hope that you found some interesting info in today's video, and I hope that I answered some of your questions. Maybe you've been wondering. So, yeah. Thanks for joining me in today's video, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you, but I'm also absolutely terrified to read your comments. I hope they're kind and nice. So yeah, that was today's video. Why am I having so much trouble ending this? Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Please be kind in the comments because this was something that was really, really scary for me, and I'm just someone who very, very has a hard time opening up about. I'm just very private. So yeah, please be kind in the comments. I'm looking forward to reading your comments down below. I'm gonna have another one linked to you right here. If you haven't had enough of me just yet, feel free to join me over there. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video, and if I answered your question, thank you for submitting them, and even if I did or I didn't, maybe I could do another one of these. Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much, and I really appreciate being here, and I'll see you in my next one.